drink.
Bad dog.
We haven't started yet.
Nah,
Is it a good time to buzz?
Here we
Sorry,
go.
I've never been here before. I've never been here before.
No,
I've only ever come in at the
All
end.
right. All right. Here
How
we
about
go.
we
Silence! Here we go. Hey, David!
Professor David! Associate
F-Gar!
Professor!
Big Malcolm Raymond
Doranku. Beer donors! Yay!
Yes, we
Nietzsche
have.
and Copernicus thinker.
There are, in fact,
Beer donors.
Alrighty. Well, hello,
Send me up
everyone.
here.
And,
Okay.
So why don't the beer donors appear first?
you know, that I was giving that some thought. But,
Yeah, that's a high honor, especially in this gang.
indeed.
All right. We saved the most important category for last. That's just why they're at the bottom. That's why they're the last to show up, because they're the most important.
Right.
Indeed.
I'm going to institute a new rule.
Yes.
Yeah, I've already been drinking, even though I've quit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not a good night for me. But anyway, you need to get through this before I run out.
Okay, well, see,
Good
sometimes
luck with that.
going through this causes people to run out. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some strange reason.
Sometimes going through this drives people to drink, but you know.
Indeed. Anyway, we've got the usual stuff. Whenever we call drink, we'll augment the counter, and if you wish, when someone calls drink, they can specify if it's a logical fallacy or just plain wrong. Those are our two categories at the moment for drink calls. To try and maintain order, we actually have a buzzer system running to where we'll be able to quickly determine who it is who has first called drink. So that should be handy, and hopefully it'll be helpful, and we'll actually be able to maintain order. Yeah, it's just crazy talk, isn't it? All right. Anyway, and let's see what we have. What fun we have for the evening. First up, we have a suggestion from Cap. Cap has brought this to us, so if it's really annoying, you all know who did it, and we'll be giving out his email and home address at the end of the show.
Sai, you are the one who is still clicking play on it, so I can't be fully blamed for it. I merely brought it to your attention.
Oh, I don't know. I'm good with giving you full blame. I see no problem with it, really. Anybody? Any objections?
We need
Nope.
scapegoats.
No objection.
I object.
All right.
I
You can
object.
object all you want. You're the one being blamed. Shush it.
You're the target. The target cannot vote. All right. This is Flat Earth Managing What It Means. I don't even know what that title means, really. The cool part about it is it's 3 minutes and 33 seconds long. So
It only takes an hour, folks.
so obviously, with all those hidden. See, in 333, there are two hidden. Actually, there's a whole bunch of hidden 33s. So.
And who is this epic by?
This is by a channel called Cancer's Kryptonite, who I've never seen anything from them before, but fortunately,
as opposed to the standard kryptonite.
Yeah, although in my defense, I did get this video from a response that that Gallus Engineer did. So if anyone, blame him for bringing it to my attention.
Hey.
Pass the buck.
We're not blaming him. It's your fault. You suggested it.
Passing of the buck has occurred. All right. Let's see
And
here.
you brought it up again before the stream.
Now, I haven't seen this one, so I should there's at least a fair chance, I would say, that it's stupid. Probably. I'd say that's a probably a fair guess. Alrighty. We might as well jump right into it. Obviously, we have no sense whatsoever.
Well, we want to get our 3 minutes over really quickly.
Yeah.
Hear that, tornado?
Huh?
The
We're
other
gonna get through these 3 minutes rather quickly, huh?
The other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking at the credits. Where's the film?
It's coming. It's coming. Oh, the other thing we might do, since YouTube seems to have just a world of trouble with processing anything over 2 hours long, for approaching 2 hours, we may kill the stream and restart it as a part 2, part 3, so that we don't tax poor YouTube's processing power. But we'll see.
Kill the stream.
Kill the stream. Hey, as long as we don't cross the stream. I've heard that's bad.
Before we get going, I got to point out what Harry M said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Harry M in the chat, he said, evidence to flat-tards what kryptonite is to Superman.
There you go. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We've already warned people that there may be some stupid involved in this, right? Yeah, we covered that. Let's see. Anything else we need to cover? Yeah. And Cap is fully responsible for everything about this particular video. So,
Strike?
Yes, sir.
Don't forget the blanket apology.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Everybody, we're sorry, really.
Yeah.
We apologize for the human species possessing members that come up with this shit.
Indeed. What century is this? Anyway, and here we go. Flat Earth managing what it means. I can't even imagine what this is going to be about. Wait a minute.
It sounds fun.
What is with? There's why is there buzzing with the buzzer going on when no one has called Drake? We haven't even seen anything yet.
You've given them a new toy, Sty. They're playing with it.
Oh Lord.
Because I can't talk. I can only buzz.
All right.
Make sure you get the batteries for that, Doc.
All right. All right. Wait. And
hey.
Oh, you know what? We should.
I have a question.
Okay.
Are we starting the good vibes or bad vibes with that comment?
I have no idea. And Karis, I noticed you have buzzed a couple times. Do you have something you would like to add, or were you just testing the machine?
Again.
Just testing? All right. Let us. God damn it! That's enough buzzing. Save the buzz.
Bad idea.
I tried to introduce a little technology to maintain order, and this is what I get.
You give the lab animals a buzzer to click, and they're going to go hog wild on that.
Do not press.
Hey, I am not a lab animal.
Wonderful. All right.
I like playing with things.
I understand completely.
Heard that about you.
Oh my.
All right. Oh, and the other thing we have is if we're if we start to get too off topic, we have implemented a soundboard where we will politely signal to the party or parties in question that we're off track and just rambling by this. That's it. One bark, everybody clams up. Anybody who fails to clam up will at that time still be talking. Okay, and
you may have to later on do another soundboard where you have like multiple dog barkings to compensate for the fact that we're paying no attention to the one dog bark.
Yeah.
That's when we break out the foghorn.
I'd tell you what, I would be happy. I would be happy if folks would actually pay attention to the barking dog. If it should, now see, I'm hoping it's not even needed tonight because all of you are going to be so polite and so brief that things are just going to go.
Brevity, retard.
All right, brevity.
You don't know us.
Vito's not being nice to us.
Okay, bring on the stupid.
Here comes the stupid, as requested, and we're sorry. Here we go.
Welcome to Conspiracy Network. It's not
a conspiracy. Oh, I know that guy. Oh my god.
We decided to do another video because there's been some weird things happening lately. And Dawn and I, being in Mexico, we're kind of in a secluded area, but we don't have a lot of light pollution here either. And so in the last couple of nights, Dawn and myself, like the sun goes down at what, like 6 p.m. So we're like, what are we gonna do? Like, let's go sit outside and let's look at the stars. If you look up at the stars for 20 minutes, it happens. And by it, I mean the stars are moving, but they're not moving like you think they're moving.
And they're blinking.
They're blinking on and off, and they're showing up over here, and then they're going. It looks as if
drink.
Tornado.
Tornado has
Go ahead.
Tornado. It is you and only you. Please proceed, young
What
fella.
you are probably thinking of are airplanes, so I am probably going to call this as just plain wrong.
Well, all right. Let us see what we
fun.
have here. I get it. All right, we'll augment that.
If I might add something.
Oh, please do.
Yes. The reason the stars go blink, blink, blink is actually because of turbulence in our atmosphere.
Indeed.
And coupled with the turbulence in their brain, it could be quite debilitating.
Yeah, there's slightly more to it than that.
Well, it's slightly, but again, trying to keep it simple. These people wouldn't understand otherwise.
All right, Doc,
Yeah,
what do
the
you got?
vast majority of twinkling of stars is because of interstellar dust.
Interesting. All righty. Look at you guys being all brief and whatnot. I am impressed. I am impressed. All right.
I'm
It
trying.
won't last.
And on that note,
No.
we shall move on. Here we go.
Game, like a Pac-Man game. So, what are they?
Is this why they're chemtrailing? You know, are they trying to hide you being able to see
Drink! And lo and behold, it is Mr. Tornado yet again. Please proceed, young fella.
Chemtrails, really? I have heard enough about chemtrails to choke a Pegasus.
Right.
Chemtrails don't exist. What they're probably referring to are contrails, which are just the engine exhaust coupled with the water vapor to create clouds.
Indeed.
So again, just
Got it.
Okay.
you've already augmented.
Can I call drink on the drink?
If you wish, please proceed. Let's hear this.
I must call drink on the drink because flying horses don't exist, mate.
All right. And on that note, moving on.
Well,
this is just going swimmingly.
Doc, they could exist. Get me a giant slingshot. I can make them fly.
Okay.
Yeah, intelligent falling is not flying.
No, to get a horse to fly properly, you need a trebuchet.
The pug has spoken.
Or they just need Red Bull.
The dog is barking.
Okay, barking dog, silence! All right. And on that note, here we go. We're making progress.
Who else sees it? Like, literally, we are in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And there's no cities around, nothing like that to choke us out with light, and we can just see a lot. Even though we're at sea level, which visibility for stars it's probably the lowest at sea level as opposed to a mountaintop, but even so, with no light.
Okay.
Drink. That's bullshit.
Okay. I will.
Did he just say
Would you like to digress on that point?
Would you care to elaborate a bit?
Certainly would.
Okay.
So if the atmosphere is denser, then it might appear more red, but it certainly wouldn't be less visible. This is bullshit.
Okay.
So, I'm in trouble. That's my phone ringing.
Yeah, I was about ready to point that out. That it's like, it's what affects you being able to see what stars you can see is how much light is around you from artificial light, like cities, not how high you are. Now, granted, if you're high on a mountain, usually there's a lot less light pollution.
Where's that freaking dog?
To blot out stars.
And maybe it just may be high on life, so that could compensate.
Indeed. All right, and let us continue with the fun. We are making progress. We are more than a third through this 3-minute video. Here we go.
We see a lot, and there's a lot of weirdness. Well, you know what's funny is sometimes I have to stop and I have to think about, like, what could it possibly be? And I know that I'm not the only one. I mean, but we know that the sun's electromagnetic. It fits the pulse from the
Drink.
aurora borealis.
Okay, that's Tornado caught that one. Please
The
proceed.
sun is not electromagnetic. Instead, it is a giant ball of plasma created by nuclear fusion from the fusing of hydrogen into helium. The result of this is electromagnetic fields on the surface, but the sun is not in and of itself electromagnetic.
Okay, it does have a fair amount of EM radiation, however. But yeah, I would tend to agree with that. All right, we have Tony joining. Okay, here comes Tony. Somebody fill him in with... All right, here we go. All right. Welcome, Tony!
It's stupid.
Oh.
I'll just warn you of that.
Yeah. Tony, mic check. Okay, we'll wait.
Hello.
Oh, there you
There we go.
All right. We've got a buzzer system going as well, so that when people call drink, they can, we'll see who got it first and all that sort of thing. It's somebody want to post the links for them. You'll get the idea. it's
I got it.
It's not complicated, and it's so far it's really been doing a nice job at helping to maintain order, which we have had trouble with in the past. Anyway, let us.
There you go, Tony.
There you go. Alrighty. So yeah, when you still call drink, of course, when there's something you want to respond to. But hit the buzzer in that room, and just to maintain order. All right, let us continue with the foolishness here. Here it goes. And we're still sorry, by the way. Here we go.
I was charging the dome, ocean's a saltwater battery, the moon is a diode, all that stuff.
All right, Squirrel, I see you. You got the first buzz. You're up.
Okay, first off, you're talking about the sun's. We go back to the last drink where you said the sun's the object, which is the sun, charges the dome, and there isn't one. The only thing I can think you're talking about is the aurora borealis, which is actually charged plasma in our atmosphere, because you've actually got it, because the EM field is weaker at the poles. Both poles, mind you, we get that sort of thing on both poles. And the ocean can't be a saltwater battery. We do not actually have an anode or a cathode on that battery, and without them, you're boned.
There you
do
go.
have enough electrolyte for a liquid battery, but you just don't have anything else. You need the other bits.
Squirrel, I have a question. How can you have two poles on a flat Earth? We all know the North Pole is the only pole in the center of the flat Earth.
Oh, damn, good point.
Which means that by extent, his information cannot be correct.
Oh, I'm shocked. Shocked to hear that.
Like a current, and if by some chance we did have an anode and a cathode, no one could drink. No one could. Life couldn't exist. It really wouldn't. Everything would be just shocked to hell.
Alrighty, we're for short.
I don't know. A single fish has been electrocuted just for breathing in and out.
Yeah, Skydog has a really good comment. It says her head is transparent. She's CGI.
Yes. I've been watching the horizon through her head, which either they're in front of a window, or they're getting a back thing, or they're doing this as a special effect. So it looks fake to me.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, what that is just glare, because they're pointing the freaking camera into the sun. Dumbass.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well,
all right.
Well, you don't actually expect intelligence out of a flat earther, do you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. She says "like" way too many times. Every third word.
Like, do we need intelligence like that?
All right, moving on. Here we go.
It's way better than a bright white. Yeah. The technical side, you can throw these things out there, but at some point, when they stop becoming conspiracies, when you take them apart and you start looking at the math and you start looking at how should something work, or how is it working, and you have to.
Alrighty, Cap, you seem to have clicked.
Yeah, the math does not work for your flat Earth. So yes, break it down. Look at the math. It won't work.
Okay, and oh look, we have Squirrel has something to add. Squirrel, please go ahead.
I'd like to know. I would honestly like to know what their math looks like, because last I checked, flat earthers couldn't understand basic geometry, let alone anything else.
I think I can help you, Squirrel. At least to get the concept of their math. Well, you know what? I'll just tell you this: they can't do it if they're wearing mittens. All right. Hey, everybody. Hefgar has joined us. Howdy, Hefgar. Welcome. Mic check.
Okay, I am here.
You are here, in fact. Now, were you listening? Did you hear about the new stuff and things we have? The buzzer and such?
I saw the thing in the chat about the buzzer, but I haven't been listening.
Okay, just that you know about the. Okay, so do you have the links? If not, somebody will throw them in the chat there for you.
I do have the links.
All right,
so I'm in that.
That's just excellent. Are you you're in it already? Where are you?
Yes, I think so.
Huh.
All right.
Try it, buzz.
Let's have some fun, shall we?
Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay. Oh, I see. It scrolls in the center one. Excellent. All right. Very good. Let us continue. We're just flying through.
Oh, hey, I have some drinks to catch up on.
Yeah. It's a 3-minute video. We're about halfway through, and we're at 6 drinks.
We're 6 deep already, yeah. All right. 2 minutes in. Very
By
nice.
the way, Si, please increment the just plain wrong thing.
Oh, there were a couple. Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah, the math one was a just plain wrong one for me.
That's right.
So
must.
So I'll make that 2.
Yeah, we have to.
Franklin,
add another one. There we go. So we've got more just plain wrongs than we have drink calls. Multiple wrongness. Okay, and here we go.
Come up with a solution, and that's why we're like, what are these things in the sky?
This video, I think, is more for you guys' opinions because, like, maybe you guys have seen it too, and we just we're not alone, or maybe y'all are like, maybe I should be looking away from down and look up, of course, and maybe take a gander around our surroundings because there's got to be an explanation. And they don't go woo in one area. They're stopping. They're curving. They're like Pac-Man. It's like do.
Break!
There is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Squirrel, it is to you. Please proceed.
There is a perfectly valid explanation. What you're looking at is large balls of hydrogen, helium, and other elements being fused way off the distance between interstellar dust and our own atmosphere. You can look all sorts of weird things. As a matter of fact, if you watch the outer planets from Earth, you'll find that they go on looping tours of the heavens,
which is totally cool.
And Squirrel, it's not completely all big balls of helium and that. We do have actual rocks in that out there with some of the other planets.
Well, some of those rocks are still big balls of various gases.
Okay. All right, good point.
And Neptune are all big balls of gas.
I was thinking Mars. I was like, I know that's pretty rocky.
Squirrel? I believe...
Karis buzzed.
I believe you...
Oh, Karis has buzzed. Everybody... Karis, you're up.
Or she could just be on drugs.
I said earlier that they were probably high on something.
Yeah.
I also want to point out, I don't think she's ever played Pac-Man.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and we have a... Doc, you have something to add?
Yeah, I was just sharing Karis's buzz.
All righty then. Let us move along, shall we? Here we go.
there's something there, and we just don't know. We just don't know what it is. So I'm kind of hoping that you guys would know, or at least give us your feedback.
But I think even having a conversation on these things, that there's two people, because isn't there usually just one person, and you're usually by yourself, you're talking to yourself or someone online.
Right.
Well, here's two people who know the truth. We know that there's no such thing as a moon.
We have a drink call, and first up I see is Hefgar. Please, sir, proceed.
Does it really matter how many people are saying it?
Good point.
We all know if
Joe,
three people say an incredibly stupid thing, it must be true.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's no argumentum ad populum.
Yes,
Have
I
fun
was
with
about to that very. Yes.
Yeah. And I would say that, it's like, you can have 100 people and say, 2 + 2 is 22, and have 2 people saying 2 + 2 is 4. Well, guess what? Those 2 people are right, but the 100 people are wrong. Doesn't matter how many people you have saying something. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
Okay.
You could have 7 billion people saying a thing is wrong, and saying a thing is correct, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's right.
Absolutely. All right.
Do I have the working hypothesis here that our 2 people out on the veranda have never paid the slightest attention to astronomy or know anybody who actually has a telescope?
I think you may have a pretty good beat on things there, RJ. I believe that's the case.
It's just a working hypothesis.
Indeed. And for the amount of times, she said we don't know, you would think she would have looked into it a little bit, because there are entire tomes on the subject.
Ooh, and libraries where they put all of that stuff, and internet where they use computers to find that. It's almost like the information is effing accessible.
Yes.
Yeah, wait, RJ, are you saying that they haven't done their proper research? I mean, they're flat earthers.
I think I'm
they did their
accusing them of
research.
that.
That doesn't
Isn't it
sound
amazing
right.
how nice people can look while suffering from cranial blockage of the rectum?
It's amazing. I was expecting sort of a C-shaped person with that effect. All right.
Yeah, it's all done with makeup.
I see.
That
All
is
right.
some impressive makeup.
And we're just flying through the stupid on this one. All right, here it comes. Here's some more stupid.
You can land on. We know that the sun isn't a burning ball of gas. We know that the roof is made out of glass ceiling, rainbow, dome, curved, light.
Squirrel got it.
It's all right.
Unlocked so I can
Squirrel.
get it buzzed.
Squirrel.
The Earth is made out of gas, and the moon is a diode. What the unholy fuck?
Yeah.
Just what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Surely my buzz was first.
It's obvious that they grew up in a technological age, but diode. I do not think this word means what you think it means.
Yeah, in the glass dome. Hey, Squirrel, you've been up through the atmosphere and into space. Did you ever run into a glass dome?
Nope.
Not
a bit of it.
So.
All right.
I know you're all blooded already, but surely I buzzed first.
Actually, do not appear on the list here. You know what?
Is Hair Doctor not there?
Please. Well, you're on the list of people, but not in the has
You
recently
haven't buzzed recently.
So see, my buzz was definitely about an earlier point. The sun doesn't burn.
All right.
That's burning is a chemical process. The sun operates by an atomic process.
Quite
and
true.
Karis did buzz too, so I think she has something to say.
Karis, please proceed.
I just wanted to point out their little mini gish gallop right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Certainly deserving of yet another drink call. Excellent.
Yeah.
And a logical fallacy. Gish gallop is actually considered a fallacy these days.
Really? Okay. I didn't know that.
Yes, it is.
All right.
No. I'd have to object to that.
Really? Okay.
I must object.
All right.
Gish gallop isn't a fallacy.
Okay.
Because Gish gallop can't be a fallacy because it's not an error in reasoning. It's a means of getting past others. Pulling apart your errors in reasoning. It's not an error in reasoning.
I think it's considered an informal fallacy because most people use it to say you couldn't answer all of my points, therefore I win.
Yeah, no, it's still wouldn't be a fallacy because it's not an error in reasoning.
Okay, all right. That,
Well, the
that does
last
make
part of it
sense.
would be, but just gish galloping on its own
It's a
isn't.
tactic. It's a tactic, not a fallacy. Yeah.
No, the reasoning of you can't disprove everything I've just said, therefore what I've just said is true, that would be a fallacy.
That would be a fallacy, definitely, yes.
Indeed.
I agree.
Alrighty. And seeing no further drink calls up, we shall proceed. And we've only got 33 seconds left. Which one of you Illuminati caused us to stop at 33 seconds left? I'd like to know that. All right.
That was
All right.
Squirrel and
It's
his
all
drink
part of the
call.
plan.
It's all part of the plan. All right, here we go.
How to make a rainbow indoors artificially. All these things prove that we live in an enclosed system with a glass roof.
And there are some people who don't want to know. There's people who do.
Drink.
All right.
I think
Doc
hit the buzzer first.
Doc, you're up.
Well, I mean, we started with the creating rainbow indoors. I mean,
Yeah, that proves lots of things, right?
that was arse to begin with, and now I've said that, I'm so drunk I can't remember what was next.
Well, all right. Well, you know what? Cap was up next. Maybe he will cover whatever it was. Cap.
Yeah.
What have you to add?
It all went by really fast. I didn't quite catch the second part, but mine was on the indoor part too. The whole rainbow indoors doesn't prove that we're in a dome, as they were think they were trying to argue there. It is all that shows is that light refracts and reflects. That's all it proves. And guess what? Would not happen in a dome per se, because then we would be having rainbows all the freaking time from it refracting through the clouds by the reflection of the dome.
Indeed. And once again, it seems they're falling for the same thing we've seen a couple of times with other videos where if something can be reproduced by one method, that must be why it's occurring originally when it's first seen. We've seen that before. All right, I think we've got Hethkar has something to add. Please proceed.
Just something I meant to add earlier. I think calling the moon a diode is even worse than when Jordan or Patchman, whatever you want to call him, said that the moon is hollow with dampening struts because it rang like a bell.
Oh God! Yeah. There's someone we need to get back to. Spirit signs. We haven't done one of the.
Yeah, we'll look into that in a future one. But all right, and Karis has something to add as well. Please proceed.
Nothing that they're saying right now supports any one shape of an atmosphere. They're saying, we're in a dome, but nothing they're saying proves that we're not in a cube or a pyramid.
Agreed. And you know what? That is sufficiently different that actually qualifies for an additional drink call. And there we go.
Yeah.
And that'll be just plain wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. And making progress. Here we go.
I want to know. There's people who don't know they want to know until they know, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I know.
I know.
So, anyways, thank you for your time, guys. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Yep. Please share, comment, subscribe, and remember to have the awkward conversation. Wake them up.
We've just had it.
Yes.
Great.
We have had
Drink.
Oh, we got
the buzz first.
Hethkar, please proceed.
Am I the only one that gets the feeling he's just agreeing with her to get in her pants?
No, you're not the only
Very
one.
possible.
No.
He doesn't want to breed with her, however, because that's just because she's an idiot.
All right. And, Cap, you're up here as well. Please go ahead.
My drink call was, and have the awkward conversation. No, thank you. Not anymore with you. That one was enough.
Yeah, that'll do.
And I apologize to everyone for the stupidity we faced.
Indeed. And Tornado, you have something to add.
He just used the term "wake them up."
Oh, he wants everybody. Wants everybody woke. Got it. Yeah.
So yeah, I just. So yeah, we're just bad people.
Yeah, so it would seem. All right. Well, congratulations on getting through that nonsense. And the other thing, I am immensely pleased that you didn't. Nobody called drink on the mindless babbling as a logical fallacy because it isn't. When her near the end there was just babbling. I'm glad you guys let it slide.
So, like I said, it was a quick video that wouldn't take that much to go through. It didn't have a lot of substance to it.
Indeed, and I must say it was probably a pretty good selection, which means, Cap, if you look around at the other panelists, you'll be pleased to know we don't have to kill you. So
okay, I'm safe.
That's good.
I live to to go on another movie night.
Uh-oh.
Let's not jump to any conclusions.
Alrighty. Let's see. What else do we have up here? Here we go. We've got some fun from somebody we have not dealt with in quite a while. Hovind the Younger. We can look into Hovind the Younger here. And this one might.
Last time we did that was Christmas.
Indeed. This is well. You're gonna really be happy, RJ, because the one I'm thinking of bringing up next is the Earth old? That's the title.
Oh no!
Ooh. Gee, I'll have to rack through my brain to find some tiny fragment of information to bring up.
Okay. Is anybody thinking that we could just skip the video and just answer yes and move on to something else?
That's a simpler approach, but no, we want to hear Eric.
All right. Oh, Hefkar has something to. Hefkar is buzzed. Hefkar,
You already
please.
stole it. I was going to say the answer is yes.
Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we start the other one, what the hell am I doing? We got to reset counters here. This is a completely new. It's not per movie night. It's per idiot that we watch. So let us
see. Here's the thing. They've already these guys in 3.5 minutes already exceeded the Jaredism scale.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they did.
We're back to all zeros, and everybody's got a Cap. You are.
Yeah, I just was wanting to point out a comment Fino made when you mentioned we were doing Hovind the Younger, and we're back to hours and hours.
Indeed. All right, Doc, you have buzzed. What have you to say?
Hello.
That's it.
Just a hello.
You buzzed to say hello.
No, actually, I did want more. I did want to say more. Okay. I may have to disappear soon.
Oh no!
First.
Yes.
No, I hope not. It depends on how much noise I make and how many times the phone rings. So, first,
I'll get some honey whiskey and drink with you, Doc.
Thank you all so much for your help with the thing. A new blog post will be coming out in the next couple of days and will appear on Twitter, and I'll send links to SciStrike and other people about that. Second, some of you will know that I did a little project with Trumpet 1984 for the Parkland kids. I don't know how many of you have seen that. I'll provide a link as well to that, to a video about that. But one of the Parkland kids has picked it up and wants to do a reshoot using the poem and the video, the poem and the music, but having them recite the poem and from the school. And the third, and this is the more important one for me, is that our friend, Lady Girl person, who we all know and love, is running a campaign this month to promote education. She has a thread on Twitter. Please, please, please go and find it. I will provide a link, but please go and find that and just shill the shit out of it, please.
Sounds like we have some new missions. Nice.
Yes.
Doc, why do you want to push for education? I mean, what good has it ever done us?
Well, it's not done. It's certainly not going to do movie night any good. But
or at least the people who show up on movie night who are featured.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Well, very good.
But it's worthwhile, and I'll pop a link in the chat, and we'll hopefully have some good movement on that.
All right.
It's really just a promotion of education.
We'll put that in the description as well. And I like when we have a mission. That's kind of why we all got into this in the first place. We really wanted to do some small good for humanity, right? So,
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Very good. And let's see. Uh-oh. Now who's coming? Oh! Jared, welcome.
Jared.
Mic check.
Evening.
Evening. Now I do have to
Hey, Jared.
have you. We instituted new stuff and things to maintain order, and so far it's been freaking working. It's great.
I know. I know. When I realized that it was
Keep telling yourself that.
the show was going on, I turned on the stream and it was peaceful.
Indeed.
There was a comment being made without it being overspoken.
Indeed.
Oh, Jared, we don't care. What are you talking about? We don't care about what you say.
Indeed. And anyway, now, since you have joined us, would someone be so kind as to provide Jared with the link to the buzzer so that he too can be included in this fun?
Yes.
And,
I will.
All right,
I'm on it.
You are cool.
I'm the link man, I guess.
You are cool. Everybody knows I'm just saying that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sai, if you actually think I'm cool, then I really gotta question your standards.
All right.
I'm about as cool as hell.
You know why he's doing it right?
Why?
He's sucking up.
Try not to get booted this year.
So you get more points. You kicking quite so fast.
Okay.
Squirrel, I was already threatened to be booted before the hangout even started.
Yep.
I'm well past the point of worrying.
All right. Now, on that note, let us proceed with our second feature from Hovind the Younger. This is the Earth old? And everybody was right. We could have gotten out of watching this by just saying yes, but we should probably see what he's got to say.
Why don't we all just drink what we've got left and go to bed?
Oh, youngin, it's
but I don't have it
in the night.
All right.
I'm gonna have to make with the coffee.
All right. And everybody, you've been following the new procedures. Great. This is going much better than previous shows. I'm immensely pleased. Let us proceed and see what Hovind the Younger has to say to us today. There we go.
The following program is brought to you by the friends and partners of Creation Today and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Drink.
You can't call drink. You can't call drink yet.
Viewers like us, I don't think so.
I'm not augmenting the drink counter for that. This is for their intended audience. All right.
Yeah, and I was going to say the same thing, Cap.
All right. And let's let him get some stupid out of his mouth and see what we got coming. Here we go.
Millions of years old. Marianne, this would conflict with clear scriptural teaching of a six-day creation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Eric, many young people have lost their faith due to.
You still have to call Brett, Jared.
Yep, you got.
I still have to say drink. Okay, I thought that was the point of the buzzer.
Okay, so Jared says drink. Go ahead, Jared. What have you?
Drink. Okay, dumb shit. The Bible is metaphorical. It was not a literal 6 days. Fuck.
Indeed.
Yeah, I was
right.
about ready to call that one too.
Even if it was meant literally, that doesn't mean it was right.
Agreed. All right, and moving on.
Old Earth claims.
This is true. Even well-respected Christians believe the Earth is old, like my friend Dr. Hugh Ross. He's accepted the claim, saying there's no problem merging an old Earth with the Scriptures.
Can Dr. Ross be right? Have the rock layers and radiometric
data.
Jackson.
Oh, sorry, I drink.
Okay, Jackson.
Drinking soda.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah. Well, Hugh Ross and lots of other Christians see no problem because they, like you guys said, they don't take the claims of the Bible literally as this literal 6-day creation. And if I remember correctly, the word for quote day isn't actually day. It's like age or or something like
No,
that, isn't it?
no, it's day. It's yom.
That's the one that's
It's
used in
day,
Genesis,
which is
I believe.
literal day. So yeah, it's a literal day, and it would be translated as day.
Oh, it would be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they still don't, or they still look at them as ages or whatever it is, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would much rather live in a world with lots of people who accept the Earth as old rather than lots of Eric Hovens.
Yeah, and I have a drink call too to add on to this. If they want to go with the literal interpretation of the Bible, like a literal, straightforward reading, why the hell do they not promote a flat Earth? Why do they laugh at that idea? The Bible's very clear. It is a flat, circular disc.
So you're saying there may be the picking of the cherries going on?
Oh yeah,
very much.
Very much so.
And but then you could already start with that right off the top of any creationist.
Yeah.
Does not matter. They will, regardless of what happens, they will be guilty of this.
Indeed.
I'm just trying to get the image of an Eric Hoven clone army out of my head.
Oh God.
All right, and here we go.
Proven that the Earth is old?
Today we're going to ask that question to Dr. Ross. But not Dr. Hugh Ross, the astronomer. We're going to Dr. Marcus Ross, the paleontologist.
So stick around.
Ooh, right up my alley.
Okay, we've got squirrel seems to have buzzed. Squirrel, what do you got to add?
Okay, first off, I want to know what I want to. You're talking about Dr. Ross, the astronomer, as opposed to Dr. Ross, the paleontologist. What does one have to do with the other, if we're being honest?
Well, theoretically, Marcus Ross could deal with age of the Earth issues. The problem is he is a relatively narrow-minded, limited creationist, and so I want to see what he's going to talk about the paleontology that he has an actual degree in. I mean,
is he the guy from Is Genesis History?
I think so. Yeah, he co-wrote a paper with Steve Meyer too on the Cambridge. Which obviously, they never compared notes.
Oh, that Jack.
I have a question.
I know which one you're talking about now. Never mind. I'm just gonna shut my pie hole now.
Okay.
RJ, are you saying that these creationists are not entirely honest and are actually dishonest?
No, they're just tokens who don't pay attention to the data and don't allow anything that they don't want to be true.
All right. So, Cap, that wasn't a real one. That was an accidental buzz?
Yeah, I was moving my mouse, and my mouse sometimes is touchy, and
all right. So
yeah.
that's what they call a that's what they call a contact.
What Cap
buzz.
does with his mouse is his affair.
Oh my!
Oh God, that's.
Remember, what happens in this hangout goes on YouTube and is everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, you're overlooking something important.
What's that?
Karis buzzed, and it was real.
Okay, Karis
did buzz.
Karis, please proceed. If you have something to add, by all means.
Not recently.
Okay.
Oh.
You just wanted to hear Karis talk. You just wanted to hear Karis talk. You're not fooling me.
You're saying that like it's a bad thing.
No, of course not. But
She's got an amazing voice.
Professional voice.
Pick something that cannot be. Pick something that
Remember,
cannot be
I flew
verified.
today, so it's a sick invisible unicorn tonight.
You have a sexy husky voice tonight, babe.
All right.
And there, hey, Sai, did you turn on AdSense for this? Because if so, I think we just lost it.
All right. Let's move on and let's move on and see what we got. Here we go.
Bring on the Ross.
Absolutely.
There's a war going on in our world against Christianity.
Are you ready to defend your faith in Christ?
This is their intro. Let it go. You can't call drink on this.
No, there's not a war in this world against Christianity. There's a war in this world against intelligence, which apparently a creationist by the name of Eric Hoven seems to be winning.
Well, hopefully in smaller circles. All right, let the intro play. Here we
She
go.
wants you.
Here we go.
The Creation Today show provides you with the ammunition you need. We prepare you to defend your faith.
Wow.
Arm your children. and raise up a
kudos on the
family that
production
glorifies the
value.
Creator,
definitely.
Jesus Christ.
This season, we're teaching you battleship apologetics.
I am
Science.
just worried
Apparently
about
not part of the
Aristotle
kiddie
with
fiddle.
a
Individual
giant
experience,
gun.
philosophy.
That still scares me.
I really
Battleship
hope that
apologetics.
no one in the Navy actually let them on a real ship, and that's just a prop that they built.
Today's
It's
guest
amusing.
is
Oh no,
Dr. Marcus
that's I
Ross,
believe it's the
Associate
battleship
Professor of
Missouri that's
Theology
moved
at
over
Liberty
to the East
University.
Coast.
And Eric and
Actually,
Brad break out the ball and chain.
probably on the
All that and much more on the
at the harbor out in Fall River.
Okay, Wisdom Vendor
Yeah.
has buzzed. Wisdom Vendor, are you in the group?
I don't see him.
That's interesting.
He's tweeting
A
from the
ghost
future.
buzz.
Well,
A ghost buzz.
the link was in the panel members, so it may have come from there. All right.
And by the way, the battleship that they were on was neither. The Mighty Mo is still in Pearl Harbor. The Massachusetts is not of that style. The one that they are on is the Battleship Alabama, which is currently in Battleship Memorial Park. Let's get the actual town.
I thought the Alabama was a submarine. Is the Alabama not a sub?
No.
The current Alabama is a
Charleston, maybe?
Doc Hackenslash, I have a question. If the Alabama is a sub, how many calories are in that?
Oh my god.
The current Alabama.
I don't know, but you can get it on a meal deal for $3.
SSGN or SSGN. The ship they were on, the Battleship Alabama, which is BB-60, is in Mobile.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty.
And obviously not very mobile at the moment.
That explains why so many people in the Navy are from Mobile.
All right, moving on.
Age of the Earth.
Spoiler alert, this information will reinforce your faith.
That's our aim.
You know, the claim that the Earth is billions of years old
Alright.
has been one of the most...
And it looks like Jared has buzzed in.
Yeah, no, it's not going to reinforce anything except my belief in your stupidity, but it's not going to reinforce any belief in the Bible unless you're a fuckwit.
Let's keep in mind.
Wait.
This is aimed at their target audience. This is not.
I
meant
was
to
just
be-
about to ask that.
But Sai, our target audience would be mad at us for not calling out any and all BS claims.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just pointing out that this is meant for the people who are already on that team. It makes them feel comfy about stuff.
It is worth pointing that out. It really is.
Even if I were on that team, I can't see myself taking anything that comes out of his mouth seriously.
And Sai, I have a question.
But that's because you're not on that team.
No, indeed.
Sai,
Yeah.
if they are on a team, is it Team Edward or Team Jacob?
How about team? I'm gonna hit play now. Here we go.
That's a good one. That's
All
a
right.
good one.
Once everyone is recovered from that, here we go.
I think you just won the internet.
I'm in a good mood today, so I got a bunch of random references ready to use today.
Great. Okay, moving on.
Wow. Who
challenging
watched
topics
Ready
for
Player
Christian
One?
young people
Not
attending
me.
a secular
Yeah.
university.
Starting in the
I
freshman
did.
class, professors will try to push two ideas that go directly against the Bible into the minds of the students.
Yeah.
One, the earth is billions of years old. And two, God didn't create us, evolution did.
These two challenges
Oh my, Cap has a response. Please proceed.
Believing or accepting the theory of evolution and the Big Bang and everything we know about modern science is not to ruin your faith. There are plenty of Christians out there who accept those facts and are still Christian.
It's quite true. Quite true.
Like
indeed.
me.
They don't allow that to be true, though.
Indeed, I was going to mention we have one on the panel.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
And
we have a Christian on the panel.
We do, in fact.
Hello,
yeah, Tornado.
Hello. How is it not? Hello, Tornado.
He's not one of these wacky bastards, though. He's
that
He's a
doesn't
reasonable one.
Indeed.
That doesn't matter. I still intend to disabuse him.
All right, and Squirrel also has something to add.
Tornado, you haven't met Hack and Slash. You will.
Squirrel,
I give him a hard time all the time about it. So yeah,
Squirrel, you're up.
Yes, but you're not Hack and Slash.
True. Then again, do I want to be Hack and Slash?
Nobody wants to be Hack and Slash. I don't want to be Hack and Slash. I would rather leave it behind and go away and be a nice person and just live my life in peace and comfort. However, there are all these fuckwits that make me do this.
All right.
Hey, I'm not a
well
fuckwit.
said.
All right, Squirrel, you have buzzed in. You have something to add.
I did buzz in, but now I'm just more interested in seeing what Eric's going to say next.
All right, Karis has also buzzed in. Karis, what have you to add?
If I could kind of chime in here with my fundy hat on.
Uh-huh.
I like your fundy hat. It matches your eyes.
Oh my god, we got flirting on the panel today. I'm sorry.
I have a green fundy hat. Okay. Hold on, I have to cough.
Okay, carry on with the coughing.
Okay, I did it.
All right. Please proceed, Karis.
Okay, as a fundamentalist.
She put the fun in fundamentalist, in fact.
Right. What's the lady talking?
Indeed.
She put the list in it as well, to be fair.
All right. Let us hear what Karis has to add now. Karis, please proceed uninterrupted.
Okay, Doc. Silence, I kill you.
I love you, babe. You know that.
Is it me, or does it just not seem as intimidating when it comes from Karis?
We may have to.
Hey, listen. Many people cite me as one of the most intimidating people they know, but few people intimidate me. Karis is one of them.
All right. Well, then here's what I
Karis
suggest.
intimidates all of us.
Let's
and I don't
hear
think
what
she's even trying to.
How about this? Let's hear what she has to say, uninterrupted this time, shall we?
Yes,
Karis,
she
the floor is
probably had
yours.
time to gather herself by now.
Go ahead, Karis. You're up.
So, if you guys are aware of the gospel in fundamentalist terms, because of original sin, that's why Jesus had to die on the cross and take the sin on himself, die, rise again, defeat death. If it was not for Adam and Eve and their original fall, there would not be that original sin. So, if there was evolution, there would also not be that original fall to get this original sin, thereby defeating the entire purpose of any sort of crucifixion story and defeating the purpose of Jesus.
Indeed, I've heard that before, and I've heard that used as an argument for why evolution cannot be true, and that
Yes.
to me screams evolution cannot be true because it conflicts with what I want to be true. That's I don't necessarily follow that logic.
Yeah.
Well, it's the way they think. Many of them think it's not necessarily what they want to be true; it's what they believe is true, and anything that goes against that is deception in some way, shape, or fashion.
Yeah, the underlying fallacy, if I may, the underlying fallacy is affirming the consequent, and it's the same fallacy that underpins every bit of apologist logic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. This implies that, therefore this.
Indeed. Alrighty.
And it completely undermines every other possible thing that might imply that, and even if that isn't true.
Okay. And let's see what other stuff he's got for. He hasn't even really gotten into the meat of it yet. I mean, is anybody
I'm still
afraid?
waiting for Marcus Ross to show up.
Okay, is looking at the number of drink calls so far on this young fella? Is anybody else afraid at this point?
Terrified.
All right, let's see what he's got.
I
Here
was
we go.
terrified to actually drop my coffee.
Oh my! All right, moving on.
Wreak havoc on the faith of young people. Because of this, several theories have popped up as an attempt to reconcile modern scientific thinking that the earth is old and the truth of what the Bible teaches. All right, take a look at this chart. On the top, we have young earth creation.
I see squirrel up top. Go ahead.
I want to know where the science is in any of that crap.
Okay.
Show me science. Citation fucking needed.
All right.
God,
There's the squirrel we know and love.
Indeed. Cap, you're up, my friend. Please proceed.
Yeah, the they keep coming up with theories, completely misusing the word theory and what it means for a scientific sense, for one. So there's a drink. And the other point that I had that would be a drink, and also would be just plain wrong, is you mean we, change our models to better fit reality and what we know of it?
Shocking as that may seem. All right. Let's see. Hefgar, my friend. I see you on the list. Please proceed.
Biblical truth. I think that's all I have to say.
That's good. Good enough. Bing. There we go.
Yeah, and did you get my drink call?
Yes. It was augmented. Absolutely.
Okay.
Jackson, you're up next. Please proceed.
Okay. If you notice, the bottommost one is called atheistic evolution. But this doesn't make any sense because evolution has nothing to say about whether or not any gods exist. So this is a complete straw man.
Well, there would be the possible option of a deistically guided evolution of sorts.
Well, yeah, I figured that's what he meant by theistic evolution.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, even if evolution proceeded completely naturally, like, God just allowed the Big Bang to happen and then, evolution, everything like that, that still wouldn't mean there was no God.
That's
so.
Jackson, my dear friend, are you going to suggest that evolution doesn't proceed naturally?
Yeah, if I can put a perspective here, I don't have any major problem with the taxonomy that he's put up. It's a legitimate argument to say that young Earth creationism reflects the lone wolves who want to go with a full heads-up, nice, good old-fashioned young Earth creationism they learned scripturally in the 1970s, when young Earth creationism really got onto the field. Gap creationism, day-age creationism, progressive creation are all ones that try to think that the designer sprinkled critters in the fossil record and willy-nilly across all of that boundary layer with one more degree of meddling. Theistic evolution is also meddling, thinking, yeah, everything is related by natural branching, common descent, except God kind of does something or other to it that makes sure that we're the direct result, and so Jesus can appear on the scene and everything is happy. So it is to say that maybe 10% of the American people would accept the full-blown, air quotes, atheistic evolution, which is evolution that proceeds completely naturally without any meddling. And that's not an illegitimate boundary layer to think about. I just want to see Marcus Ross come in and talk about the fossils.
That should be interesting. All right, we have Squirrel. I see you on the buzzer. Please proceed.
Okay, I want to know how the age of the Earth, geology and such, has anything the fuck to do with actual evolution. Or evolution of any stripe. You go from non-living, you go from, God creating everything down to, well, there's some gaps in here someplace, but it was still created. Day age, that's almost the same thing. It just took longer.
That's easy enough.
Oh my yards. And then he switches from earth sciences to life sciences. Somebody explain that to me.
Well, that's easy enough. It's easy enough to explain. Just because just because even at an average reproduction rate of 25 years per generation, which is about what we have as humans, it doesn't give us a massive amount of time to get from almost nothing to almost something, which is kind of where we went from and where we are. It's not huge. So the length of time required is such that even the tiniest bit of it puts us well outside their 6,000 to 10,000 years. So they have to fight the time. They've got to do that. They can't not do it.
Indeed.
Yeah, there's a teeny weeny snag in their argument that is only materialized in the last 20 years or so. And that is, if you look at the young earth creationism as it was in the Henry Morris era back in the 60s and 70s, and is reflected in Ken Ham and Kent Hovind and all the rest, and Eric, you've got a simple slam dunk. If God's word says the earth is young, there ain't enough time for evolution. However, Ken Ham has been bumping into the problem of how do you put animals on the ark? And so the ticking time bomb of young earth creationism is that they have got to get from whatever created kinds there were, if they can ever figure out what they are, to existing life forms distributed as they are in a lickety-split 4,500 years with a super fast speciation rate that's physically impossible by any science definition. And there's the problem that I don't think Eric ever thinks about, because he is redacting people farther downstream that don't think for him, like Marcus Ross.
Correct.
You mean they've ignored the nuance of science?
They ignore the nuance of creationism, because the baraminologist, and it'll be really fun to see whether Marcus Ross brings up baraminology, because that's been one of the terrible problems with creationism, is they keep on finding stuff that reinforces evolution, and then they have to kind of not think about that.
Aha. Just sending.
You may proceed, gentlemen. The
Yes.
RJ is ready.
All right. Well, as long as you're ready, that's good. I'm just hold on. Just sending the link to Wisdom Vendor. There we go. All right. Let us proceed.
As the Bible teaches. On the bottom, we have atheistic evolution. In between, we see four ideas that try to combine God's description of the creation of the world and the old earth teaching of modern science.
Theistic evolution was created to merge evolution and the Bible. Many young Christians are taught that the evolution is true, so God must have used evolution. He just controlled processes, keeping it heading in the right direction.
Progressive, day-age, gap theory, they all reject Darwinian evolution, but accept billions of years of time. These can be called old earth creationism.
First, considering theistic evolution, many young people in church are taught that God guided evolution.
Yawn, when are they going to bring on their guests?
From secular instructors that evolution doesn't need God to do what it did, those Christians are faced with a decision. Their professors say that in order to be intellectually honest, they need to accept the truth of evolution
Oh, beat me to the buzzer.
All right, Squirrel's got the first buzz on that one. Squirrel, you're up.
Right. Marianne, you don't get to talk. Neither you nor Eric gets to speak on intellectual honesty. Seriously. That's plain wrong.
That is just...
That's the last thing you guys get to say.
Agreed.
Be last.
Oh, everybody's got stuff to add. All right, that was Squirrel. Cap, you're up. And brevity, everybody. Cap, you're up.
All right. Intellectual honesty. You mean the accepting of facts as they are presented and drawing the conclusion to where they point. Oh, yeah, as Squirrel said, something you guys do not do.
Indeed. And I will direct everyone to the public chat. Fino points out that was a winner in the game we no longer play. Okay, and let's see who we have next. Tornado.
Can we move on about a second to get off that face?
Tornado, my friend, you're up next.
Apparently, he's saying he's claiming that professors would say that I have to be intellectually honest and deny God. No, I do not have to do that, because in my worldview, science and religion can be merged with one another. A friend of mine said that science and religion are like shoes. I walk a lot further with both on.
Aha. Okay. Very good. And Hathkar, I see you're next on the list. Please proceed.
Oh, I guess I have two things to say now. The
Okay.
first one is that's not no face. That's something's about to go in her mouth face.
All right. What's your other thing?
Anyway, the second thing is the fact that she broke into laughter trying to say intellectual honesty. Like, the very idea of it is ridiculous.
No disagreeing with that. All right.
If that's an O face, like, who would be the... Never mind.
All right.
Yeah, you don't want to think about it.
And let's see.
That
Jared,
is the winner in the game we no longer play.
Jared has something to add. Please proceed, Jared.
No, not anymore, because first Earl took my original point, and then
say
Hathkar took my second point.
Okay. All right. On that note, will reset the buzzer, and we will move on. Here we go.
Cause for life, and just drop the crutch that they call a creator God.
You know, what's frustrating to me is even if God was managing the evolutionary process, this couldn't be the God of the Bible. The character of God and Jesus are polar opposites to the type of character who would inflict eons of death and mutation upon his handiwork before he actually started working on his main purpose. Forming
I have a question, just more for the thing. Is anyone else? I don't know if it's me, if I need to leave and come back in, but where it's like you're like cutting out and in, like
because
anytime any noise at all, it shuts. It overrides what's being heard. Doc's sitting there giggling the whole way through.
It was from Doc.
No, stop. Stop now.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure on that, but I guess I would have a drink call on the whole God wouldn't inflict pain and suffering on his creation. Have you read your Bible?
We've got a whole book that says that's what he loves to do more than most things.
and you say he's going to do that to basically everybody but one person on this panel, actually including the other person on this panel, because he doesn't accept your level of BS. So, yeah, by your own definition and your own words, I would say, I don't know, that might constitute a drink call for just flat out lying.
Okay. Actually, I think I already augmented, didn't I? Yeah, I think so. My God, this is really going well. Although the first video had a higher drink count than this one so far. Let's see what else we got.
The other video was much shorter, so it couldn't rack up a big bill.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that one had more per minute, more drinks per minute than this one. So, all right, here we go.
Eternal relationships
haven't got
with
the
human
expert out
creations.
yet. Give them time.
Right. The scriptures clearly state that when death began to impact creation, in Romans 5:12 it says, "As by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin. And so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. By sinning, the first Adam..."
A squirrel, by all means.
I sense a major contradiction here. If their Jesus gave up his life in order to absolve us of sin, why the hell do we still die?
I've always wondered that myself.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine is more of a, what I buzzed for was more of a comment.
Okay.
I have to correct them on something. It was not God who created it. Don't they know it was the great Belu who created everything and gave us the honor of knowing him?
No, the flying spaghetti monster.
Now
Absolutely. And it's the bow tie spaghetti, not any of that heretical linguine.
I have it on good authority.
Oh, you guys are all wrong. It's spaghetti.
Belu is actually hanging around, so you might want to be a little careful that we don't offend him.
Belu had to go.
Oh, no.
Oh, he did?
Oh, heck.
No, because Belu Jr. was hiding under a bush and wouldn't go back to class, so he had to go and talk the kid out.
Oh, all right. Wisdom Vendor.
That was several minutes ago.
All right. Well, thank you for clarifying. Wisdom Vendor has joined us. Wisdom Vendor, are you familiar with the new procedures and the buzzer and all that sort of thing?
I am not familiar with the buzzer. I'm just now remembering that I had to use Google Chrome instead of Firefox.
Oh, okay. But I know you're good at using the buzzer because that's how you got my attention. But anyway, when you call drink, buzz at that time as well. That way we have a nice order of people that call drink, and we just hit them one at a time.
How do I buzz?
Click the buzz.
You were in the room earlier.
But you already know how this works there.
Yeah, the room that you were in before. Let's see, are you in there? Oh no, you're not in the room. Okay,
I have no clue where I'm at right now.
Somebody give in the chat, in the private chat. Somebody give him the link and the room name so that he can join us.
Yes. You want to do that, Cap, because you do that so well.
Already doing it. I just copy and paste my comment, my message.
You got the skills. Yeah, you go to the web link he's going to give you.
You are the keeper of the link for the drunken people.
And then when it asks you for the room name, put in the room that he has put in there, and it'll send you right to this one, and you'll be able to.
What is the timing on the video, by the way?
Oh, like you mean how far are we, and how far have we yet to go? We're at 426 out of 2831.
Wisdom.
Oh no! Ooh, and we still haven't got to the guest yet. Okay.
Indeed.
Wisdom, can you move the mic away from your mouth a bit?
We got breathing? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting an obscene phone call. All right.
On that, all the impersonations of Dave Bowman in 2001.
Karis, was that a demonstration buzz, or do you have something to add? Oh, it's just purely for demonstration. Okay, excellent.
I did have a buzz a bit ago for something to say, though.
Oh, by all means, proceed.
Can I just point out how ridiculous it is for one person to have sinned and then everybody else is responsible for it?
Well,
yeah.
Well,
ever since and so on.
Yahweh is a moody bastard.
Yeah, he has self-esteem issues, and he's got, he's kind of needy. He likes to have worshipers, and then of course he is or is not a tripartite entity, depending upon which one of the versions you go by.
Yeah.
Well, I do have an in with him, and he even told me the whole thing with Jesus and everything was he sacrificed himself unto himself to appease himself because he was angry with us.
Yeah, and also I would add on the punishing the fathers, he's very explicit in the Exodus 20 chapter, which has nothing to do with Ten Commandments, but it's but he's very clear that if you do not worship him, you and all the way down to the 4th generation will be punished.
7th generation.
Sure?
There's other one. It's the 3rd and 4th generation. That part. There's other parts that say up to the 7th. So.
Oh darn! So he's not even consistent in his tirades.
Wait, are we sure that's the Bible? That's not the Klingons, right? It's Klingons. All right. And I see Karis has buzzed in. Have you some comments, Karis?
Yes.
Please proceed.
From a fundamentalist standpoint, for some of them, I cannot represent the theology of all of them, but many of them do not believe that we are responsible for the sin of Adam and Eve, but that the original sin instead brought sin into the creation, which it's God's fault anyway. He's the one who supposedly left that vulnerability in his own creation, but that just made all of creation fall, and now we have a sin nature, and we are only held accountable for our own sins.
I see. And that would be a flaw in his perfect creation, Adam being the first perfect man, of which I'm told there were 2. But so Adam, the perfect man, had this flaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I'm not sure whether he had a neighbor.
Brings up. I was gonna say, not to mention, it brings up the issues with the omniscient and omnipotent and just all the other omnis that are attributed to God. That just,
Gotcha. All right. Squirrel seems to have buzzed in.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did.
By all means.
So, under the terms that Karis used, how is it that my 3-year-old would be a guilty sinner, or Georgia Purdum's 6-year-old?
Because they didn't bow down and kiss. It didn't bow down and worship the ground that God supposedly walked on, and kiss his ass.
Well, here's the theology of couple different theologies on this. Some will hold that we are only accountable for our own sins, so a child will only be accountable for their sins to the extent that they understand that it is indeed sin, and others believe in more of an age of accountability, where they're pretty much, while they sin, they're not held accountable because they don't have the maturity level to be held accountable for.
But yeah, I would.
So keep people ignorant and stupid. They could be sinless.
Wait for it. Okay, so as far as I can tell, we do not have a clear definition of sin, and my problem, of course, is that what counts as sin is very different from theology to theology. I can't even wrap my head around the actual definition of this word.
Yeah, and I would say, Karis, I would disagree with you because the Bible's, again, this is talk we have later on, but the Bible says that all people are born out of sin, and therefore even a baby is a sinner and therefore worthy of the judgment of God.
It depends on the operating manual you go by. There are all these like denominations that are absolutely certain that their crib notes are the only correct ones.
Yep, and that's if you
What
do
you
a
just
straightforward reading.
Right, that's why I started out with the one where each child would be responsible only for their own sins to the extent that they understood them.
Yeah.
That's why I said that. Because
Yeah.
of what you had said. And sorry for my voice, people. I'm trying to come out of the flu, and so I'm sounding less than ideal.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
don't
just
strain
like I
it.
said, there's
The
so
light you're doing
many.
in the fireplace up that is really dangerous.
Yeah, don't strain it. We will all clam up and remain absolutely silent so that you can be heard. Don't strain the voice trying to speak louder.
Yeah, like I said, I was saying that's there's denominations out there that actually do believe that. They're very fringe, but that's another biblical literalist interpretation they can make on it. So there's so many out there, you don't know what's right.
No, I've heard some of them even in the denominations that I've been involved with, where, and these were a lot of street preachers, a lot of hardliners, like ultra hardliners, where even if it's a baby, this was a street preacher who was talking to a bereaved father who was crying and yelling at him while he was preaching, because what he was preaching was that if you die without Christ, no matter your age, you are going to hell.
Yeah.
And this guy who had lost his kid in a wreck, the car had wrecked and his kid was lost in the wreck, was like a 6-year-old or something, 4 or 6. And the preacher who I had been acquainted with told him that, yes, unfortunately, his child was in hell right now. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Go to
word
that
for
place,
it.
punch him in the dick.
All right. Don't make me boot you out, Tornado. What's the word of the day? What's the word of the day, Tornado?
I'm sorry, it's just when people get that way.
One word I want to hear. What's the word of the day?
Calm.
Ah, you rock, my friend. You rock. All right. All
I
right.
hate when they do that involving little kids.
That and the grieving father thing. I'm not really thrilled with that either.
Religion, varying on how you use it, like I say, can be. There's just a lot of really. If you take the Bible absolutely literally, it's can make people very, very mentally unstable and just disgusting. That's all I got to say on it.
All right.
Warning: the Bible is dangerous when used as directed.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. On that note,
Oh, it's dangerous when you use the weapon.
Oh, Jared has something to say.
No, that was an accidental click, and I was laughing.
Okay.
Good enough. All right.
Now we mark on.
Yes, let us.
Yeah.
I want to hear Ross.
What's going on in chat?
I don't know.
What the hell are we missing?
Tourette's and can the vagina change its spots? Pheno is off on his own jag here.
All right, let's move on.
All you had to do was say Pheno. We would have known. Oh, it's just Pheno being Pheno.
Maybe we'll get on to the featured guest here. Here we go.
brought death.
The truth is, evolution doesn't work, even as a mechanism. And many scientists have realized that.
Oh my.
So
Rank.
All right, Squirrel's the first to have buzzed. And then Jared, Squirrel, you're up.
The truth is, Eric, really? So are you are you hearing yourself, Eric? The truth is that evolution just doesn't work. There is so many things wrong with this statement. I'm not even sure where to start. There are onions that are jealous of you right now. So many layers. Okay, Eric, you would not know the truth. It bit you in the ass.
You gotta remember, Eric doesn't read science.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what the hell was happening to you. Just
All right. On that note, Jared's up. Please proceed.
Yeah, it's not just it goes beyond just plain wrong to that wonderful one that I was hoping we could pull the audio from, because really, Eric, really, do you really want to hear what I have to say about what you just said? Because it's worse than what they use to make manure from.
I'd like to just find out two things.
Yes.
First off, is my mic working okay?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You're still getting a little bit of crackly, like you're trying to eat it.
Got it. But we hear you. But we do hear
We're
you.
getting some breathing picked
Put
up
some
too.
salt on that one if you do.
What was so crunchy there? But also, how's that buzz thing work again?
You click buzz on the thing, and you.
Well, he may not be into. Hold on, he may not be into the
Well,
screen.
when you say buzz on the thing, that's not very descriptive.
Right.
There's a big button that says buzz.
Go into the side menu inside the chat room, and there will be links, or Cap will give you the links and tell you the instructions as to how you can activate them. So your little menu.
I got the buzz window. I don't know the buzz thing.
Password.
A little button is marked. It's a friendly white button with really, really, really friendly green letters that says buzz.
Oh, as opposed to unfriendly letters. Like,
Exactly.
what the hell does that even mean?
Well, the question is, are you at that screen yet where that even shows up? First off, did you put in the room name? When you first go to the link, it'll ask you for the room name. Did you put in what Cap put in the chat to take you to the room where we all are?
Well, I got qbbuzzer.com.
Yeah.
And it says enter the room you'd like to connect to.
Okay, let's not say
And
the
that's
room.
the movie night.
Let's not say the room.
Will come in.
It was just the room name was just reposted to the chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which chat? Is it Discord? Is it YouTube?
No,
Is it?
No, the side chat where all the people are
inside the meeting.
Yeah, in the
Yeah, you'll see a little like a green post-it thingy with a number next to it. At the moment on mine, it's 1 up on the upper corner above the faces of the people in the side chat.
Are
And
you
if
assuming
click
that I
on
look
that,
at the
that'll
same
open up
window you
the
are?
window.
Indeed, if you click on that, that'll expand it to where you'll see the inside chat just for this Hangout session.
It
You have
allows
no clue how
secret
3 different
information to be
people give it
passed.
4 different directions on a window that I'm not even looking at.
Here, I'll send you the room number on Discord.
There you go. All right. Let's see. Did we cover everything? I think everybody got to say what? Look at that. Eric's falling asleep during his own.
Oh, his.
I just sent it to you on Discord.
All righty.
I did have something to point out.
Oh, please go ahead.
And let's see if I can remember what it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Tornado had one before me.
Tornado, have you something to add? Yes, I do.
Okay.
Clearly, he does not realize that evolution doesn't even involve how life even got started. That could be God magicked it into existence. It could be abiogenesis. Some people probably already know where I stand on that. But evolution doesn't require the reason for how life got there. It just requires that life be there.
Yeah, quite true.
Yeah.
Are you picking up an echo?
I am not.
I'll turn my thing down.
Yeah, and my point was him saying that evolution isn't even possible at all and all that other crap they were spewing. I'm like, excuse me, I have a Newfoundland and a Great Pyrenees here. Yes, that's artificial selection, but it's the same concept of natural selection. Just we as humans chose what factors we wanted to put in. Vaccines, that's done because of evolution. I mean, there's just
And the fossils that I want to hear about, if we can ever get Marcus Ross onto the screen not see Mr. Needs a Shave to proceed.
All right, let's see. Did we cover everybody? We got a new buzz from Hethgar. We've got a new buzz.
Yeah, I remembered what it was I wanted to say.
Excellent. Go right
And
ahead.
that was that he said that evolution doesn't work even as a mechanism.
Yeah,
evolution on the whole isn't a mechanism. It has mechanisms, but it isn't a mechanism on the whole.
That's a good point. And that's worth another drink augmentation.
Yeah.
All righty.
It's the general description of what the mechanisms do.
I would like to test my buzz.
Go right ahead. Did
There
work.
you go.
Bingo.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Look at that.
Okay, cool deal.
Now we're all set. Yeah, this was implemented to keep everything you've heard previous movie nights. You know why we implemented this.
Out of control, man.
Okay, I think Karis has something to add, and she's very serious about it. Karis, please proceed.
No.
What? You just... God damn it, you just buzzed 4 times. All right.
I've heard of pulling someone's chain, but buzzing it, that's a new one.
Indeed. All right, let's move on. Maybe we'll get
innovate here at Size Strike Show.
Maybe we'll get to the featured guest sometime soon.
Oh, Karis was saying something.
We're making a game in the chat because you have the best pauses, so we're captioning all the pauses.
Nice. And those can should those appear in the somewhere in the Discord server as not in quotes? We're going to need a separate section for that.
Yeah, that would be a good one for somebody to take a screenshot of and then Photoshop a joint in between his fingers.
Yeah. There we go. Or he's using his fingers to measure the amount of science work he's read.
I think both are viable.
Well, if that is the amount of science work he's read, then I gotta call Drink because that's still bullshit. Because that's still over saying what he's read.
Okay, there is now a screen caps channel on the Discord server for anyone that wishes to post their victories, so that we may all honor you. All right. On that note,
magnificent.
Blowing smoke. Look, he's totally blowing smoke out of his lips.
You're right.
Yeah, he is. Totally.
Well, it says
Frater says he's still seeing Eric waiting on Bukkake.
Okay, we're gonna hit play now, shall we?
I just had one question.
All right.
If that is Eric blowing smoke out of his lips, since he has cranial blockage of the rectum, is he just blowing smoke out of his ass?
Okay, guys, I'll be back in a while.
All right, see you then, Squirrel.
Okie dokie. Nothing will have changed with Eric's brain in the meantime.
I know.
We can pretty much bet on that. Oh, Tornado has something to add. Please.
It is rather unsavory, but I could imagine him just wearing a completely different outfit, and that does not need to continue. That train of thought does not need to continue. I am now going to bash myself in the head with the nearest ball-peen hammer because I did not need that mental image.
All right, moving on. Here we go.
Many Christian apologists today have dropped the idea that God used evolution, yet they still hold on to the claim that the earth is billions of years old. This belief, like I said, is old earth creationism.
The old earth view embraces much of what modern science has to say about our origins. It supports the Big Bang Theory, 4.6 billion.
Jared, please proceed.
Evolution does not deal with the origins. Evolution deals with the advancement of life throughout its known history.
Indeed.
I know, but they repeat origins or bust because it's their crack addiction.
They think if they say it enough, it's going to become true. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's the mantra.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, really.
Darwin's book wasn't Origin of Species, it was On Origin of Species.
Indeed.
Meaning how diversity of life was explained.
Exactly. Cap, I see you buzzed in. Please proceed.
Yeah. Mine was more or less basically, well, Yeah, I mean, I know it's such a crying shame that we actually follow where the evidence leads and don't just stick with the first answer we get with the Bible. But also, as you know, the Big Bang, as other people said, does not deal with evolution. Do not use Kent Hovind's style of tactics. Because I'm sorry, if you're going to start using his tactics and arguments, I'm then going to have to question if you use his tax formula as well.
All right, Hefcar has something to add. Please.
I just want to ask Hannah Anderson in the chat, what about furries?
All right. All right. On that note, moving on. Here we go. And you notice we haven't had to use the dog much. This is going pretty damn well. Nice work, guys. All right, here we go.
In your age of the Earth, and virtually all of what secular paleontology claims.
And since they believe the rock layers of the Earth represent eons of time,
yes,
well, the
I'm
layers
gonna
could
have
not
to
have been
call
created by the
drink
global
here.
flood.
Let me buzz on that one. Yeah.
All right, RJ.
That's my first buzz of the night. Secular paleontologists, oh gosh, no. It's just regular paleontologists, many of whom are very religious people. Simon Conway Morris being an obvious example. Marcus Ross is a paleontologist on paper, but he doesn't actually do paleontology. Even the stuff he's put up in creationist literature doesn't really discuss a lot of the fiddly bit details. So he is a paleontologist in the same way that a bricklayer who doesn't make brick walls is a bricklayer.
I see. All right, Cap, you have something to add, I believe.
Yeah, it's a drink call on their use of layers when referring to rocks. You got a problem there. See, you're going to go and claim it's Noah's flood, yet we can find limestone, granite, and limestone all together, which really would not work for the flood model because you claim that it's the hydrologic sorting or whatever the BS claim you guys use for that. And that would put it as limestone, granite, or whichever way it would run, not limestone, granite, limestone. So yeah, you kind of fail on that point.
Agreed. And they have said
it's
nothing.
Way worse than that.
And they have
Because you got your airborne volcanic ash, which no creationist has been able to account for. You got your Aeolian windblown stuff that's in the fossil record. And you also got the fact that if you look at all the deposits around, they've got tons of stuff that are physically impossible to be made in young Earth conditions. There are certain kinds of crystals that are physically impossible to form in under like 100,000 years and at enormous depths, and then they are pushed up onto mountain ranges, and that takes time. So they just ignore that stuff.
Or the amount of something that we have, like chalk.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, those are the Cretaceous diatom farts in the Cretaceous.
Yeah, and then another thing that would really doesn't help their whole layers argument of how that would work is, see, it would have to be laid down by the flood while still be under the water, harden, then another layer laid down and harden while the other animals are still alive. And so that way they would, or else it would all be buried on the very bottom layer. So you would have to have the animals alive in the second layer, and then have that harden, and then another one, so on and so forth. So yeah, the rocks are forming and hardening under the floodwaters in a year. Yeah, it just does not work.
Real zippy quick. And keep in mind, they've done addressing this. The layers, they talk about layers all the time. There are some they've done nothing to address. Layers and ogres, for example. They've said nothing about that. Oh, come on, that was freaking hilarious.
I chuckled. I chuckled.
All right.
Actually, I'm working on my own version of creationism. It's the Neapolitan one. There's the pink layer and the chocolate layer and the vanilla layer, and that accounts for everything.
I see.
RJ, where does Rocky Road figure in?
That's heresy.
Hefcar has something to add.
I just had a terrible thought that I'm really glad that I've never actually heard a young earther use.
Yes.
But if Moses was able to part the Red Sea, who's to say that God didn't part the waters that were flooding the earth to make the different layers?
Okay, great.
I'm really glad I've never heard that used. But
and now you will. Now you will.
So when we hear it, we can blame
creationism evolves. Creationism has come to accept hyperspeciation. It's come to accept continental drift that they objected to for years, but now they have continents sliding around like funhouse ride after the flood. And they've accepted all sorts of stuff. Jensen actually says, "Oh, we've accepted transitional forms all along," and my mouth drops.
Really?
Yeah, this was just this last couple of years. He decided to say, "Oh, we really accept transitional forms. The Bible predicts it. Creationism predicts them." Like they haven't been insisting there aren't any at all, and he offered no citations, of course.
Well, come on, they're great at predicting things after they happen.
Yeah, all I gotta say is,
and they're not even very good at that.
Yeah, RJ, all I gotta say on that comment is bullshit. You still don't accept them.
I go for the more congenial bullpucky.
Indeed. And Wisdom Vendor has buzzed in.
Yes. Someone asked earlier, where does Rocky Road come into this?
That was me.
Okay.
And yes, and I'd like to explain that. The philosopher Weird Al Yankovic did a great presentation on I Love Rocky Road. And it explains the entire history of Rocky Road. All you have to do is look him up on YouTube.
All right. That'll explain it all.
Rocky
Road.
He also has a great exposition on the potato.
Yeah. And not to mention, he also has given us clear uses of the use of tinfoil.
Yes, he does.
And also can compress the entire Hamilton musical into 2 minutes.
I'm beginning to think that we might be stalling.
Could
He
be.
is a Renaissance science.
It seems Peter has
Well, I
joined
will
us.
say, Weird Al Yankovic probably knows more science than Eric does.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt about that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Mic check, Peter. Let's hear you say hi. Hello. I just saw him join. I just
He's
let him
been
in.
raptured.
Maybe. Gonna go for it. I just saw you enter. Are you experiencing audio difficulties?
Or any other kind of difficulty.
Oh
my! He doesn't look like he's in here anymore.
No, he's in here.
No, I see his little Einstein mode.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Sorry, I was just completely missing it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead. Maybe we'll hear him chime in.
I don't know. He can buzz in as need be. I want to see Marcus Ross, please.
By the way, we're approaching 2 hours.
Oh, that's.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's go a little farther here, and here we go. Thanks for
Let's
pointing
all
that
try
out.
to
We
not
got like
call a
15
buzz until Marcus Ross shows up, because we're going to hear standard creationist boilerplate for the next 5 minutes at least.
Agreed. All right, here we go.
Death recorded in
buzz
the
was on
rock layers
purpose for
are not
RJ.
flood victims, but the victims of time. Billions and billions of years of death.
If this is so, creation didn't take place in 6 literal days. These days then must represent long periods of time where God created a new group of species every few eons or so.
Drink.
It's assumed that 30...
We have a. Let's see. Who was that? Who called that? Hethgar? Was that you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Unless I heard them wrong, did they say that billions upon billions of years of death means that the Earth couldn't have been created in 6 days?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, they're arguing that death only comes in from Adam's sinning. So there's an argument that
Either way,
death, the idea of their theological position in young Earth creationism, and this goes back to Henry Morris and the founders of young Earth creationism, that death is not allowed, and therefore all of that getting and deathing thing that is part of natural evolution is bad theology from their point of view, therefore cannot be true, and therefore they're comfortable with the young Earth creationism, where all the death occurred in little spurts like at the flood.
Okay.
still, either way,
Yeah, and
she said that they said that means it couldn't have been created in 6 days, and I don't see how that follows.
It does.
Well,
Granted, I
I
don't
would-
think it was created in 6 days, but
Well, no, she was actually speaking in actual truth of the science. If everything progressed over the course of millions of years, as we can see in the fossil record, that means the Earth was not created in 6 literal days. Which,
again,
honey,
how?
that's what the science shows.
Yeah,
Well,
and
no,
birds
I
are
just
not
don't see
older
how
than the stars.
I don't see how it follows from the fact that things have been dying for billions of years that the Earth couldn't have been created in 6 days.
Well,
It's
those
their
two
version
might.
6 days, but there's also a problem with that with their version.
Yes.
We have the problem of, and it's one thing I was going to point out, and it would be a drink call, is that how do you have days without a solar marker to mark them against, such as the sun? And
Yeah, it was
that
only a couple days.
And that reading of Genesis, if you read it as light and darkness, would imply a flat plane because the whole earth would have had to been encased in light and dark, so it would have had to alternate. So even Genesis 1 under a literal reading, which is what they advocate for, would mean you have to accept the flat earth with a glass dome.
Okay.
But yet they don't.
So it would
So I
seem.
think someone doesn't follow their Bible.
Or only the parts they like the best. And I notice Peter has buzzed. Peter has made use of the buzzer. Does this mean that you are able, you are up to speed on what we're doing here, Peter?
Apparently not.
And we still can't
He
hear
might
you.
be having mic problems.
Indeed. Check the mic. Jump out and jump back in. Hopefully we'll get you in soon. All right, and that seems to be everybody who has buzzed, I believe. Let us move on.
70,000 years ago, God created special humans, possibly a literal Adam and Eve. He breathed the spirit into these new humans, but he didn't do it to other hominids that were around thousands of years prior, like the Neanderthal.
Okay, Squirrel, I see you on the list. Go ahead.
Yeah, 70,000 years. Try at least 150,000, probably close to 300.
You're not expecting them to keep up with the literature, are you?
Well, you got to realize that mitochondrial Eve was dated to 70,000 years ago, and Y chromosome Adam, 50 some odd thousand years ago?
Wait,
Give or
Squirrel,
take
so you're saying that according to what, even though they love to trout out Y chromosomal Adam and mitochondrial Eve, you're saying that what they want to tout out completely contradicts Adam being made first and is only off by about 20,000 years?
I think the actual number is closer to 17, but yeah, pretty much.
I love how they always...
We actually have evidence of modern humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, go back in the general neighborhood of 150 to 200,000 years ago. So I don't know where she's pulling that 70,000 number out of her ass.
Probably she's relying on very old creationist apologetics, as it was, frankly, before she was born. It's really dated stuff.
So you mean she got it from Ken?
At this point, that
Probably
simply is an appeal to authority.
And the wrong's authority.
Right now, we're working on just completely wrong. At least do a modicum of research, Marianne. Don't just read the fucking teleprompter.
Indeed. All right.
They don't even. They can't get to modicum. Crocus Squirrel.
I'm done.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Now we got you.
Hey!
And Peter has
No,
buzzed.
Peter, we can't hear you.
Peter, you are up to speed on the procedure here that you can, when you call drink, hit buzz as well.
Not entirely, but I got summoned. Some of you mentioned that there were two perfect men in creation, Adam, and there was another one, and you couldn't remember his name. So
I got it.
That's what summons me.
And
you have one of my followers. So I overslept.
Oh my.
Yeah, the woman with the weird expression that we're looking at right now used to follow me on Twitter.
Really?
Yes.
Intriguing.
But the buzzer thing, I have it installed. It seems to work because I saw Karis in the chat saying that I buzzed.
Yes,
so
you buzzed.
that seems to work.
Yep.
So instead of drink, we just buzz?
No, not instead
of.
No, you
drink
still have
and
to call
buzz.
drink. You still have to call drink, and this just gives us an order to pick people, and everybody else clams up while they're talking. So far, it's been working great.
Clamming up works?
Absolutely. So yeah, when you call drink, hit buzz, and it'll keep everybody in nice order. All right, now
I gotta point out. I was just add a comment in the thing. It says,
"Go ahead."
Marianne is ginger. Yeah, Really, we're Doorknob Head. We're going Gilligan's Island here.
Going full Gilligan.
I caught that too, and I love it. And I was going to mention it if no one else
I
did.
love it.
All right. And Hethgar has also buzzed in. Hethgar has also buzzed in. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I love how they always try to bring up mitochondrial Eve and Y chromosomal Adam as the first humans, which one, they weren't, and two, they completely ignore the fact that the two of them weren't coexistent. They did not exist at the same time as each other, even close.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, but they're just using radiocarbon dating, and that's not accurate at all.
Yeah.
Yes, only talk about carbon. They're famous.
We must be on our best behavior because Lucifer's in the chat tonight.
Oh my, might be garnering souls. Alrighty.
Yeah. Lucifer, I did do my baby sacrifice already, so you don't need to take mine.
Lovely. All right. We're let's move on a little more. Maybe we'll get to their actual guest. There we go.
You want to?
I really want to hear him.
We're at about 1 hour 50. You want to do a different stream for that? Since you were saying how you want to do about 2 hours.
Yeah, because of YouTube's processing weirdness these days. So let's let it go a little more. We'll cut it off about 5 minutes short. Here we go.
See how they're forced to invent stories and meaning to make the Bible fit modern secular science? You know, it's the same with the flood. The record of the...
Oh my!
Drink.
Oh my! Sorry.
Tornado, there you go.
Tornado, you're up.
We do not do that whole switching around thing. You were basically saying that we have to rewrite the Bible. No, I'm just going off the fact that we don't know what the original writers meant when they said day. I mean, I've heard that there was Yom, which means either day or era, I think.
No, it's just day.
Well, one of the original writers of the Bible may have meant era. I'm talking the Babylonians.
Oh yeah, the Genesis one might have had era written, but the way it's written in the original Hebrew was Yom for just a straight day.
Yeah. Okay.
Either way, we don't know how long a day is. That's the issue.
And
a day to God could be anything.
Indeed. Yeah, a timeless being would have a little bit of a hard time even conceptualizing.
There's a lot of time on his hands.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
well, no, actually, he's got none.
Godless.
He's got no time.
I gotta point out Doorknob Head's comment.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Eric, so this is Eric talking. I'm doing my dramatic chipmunk face.
Yes, he is. All right, Peter. Peter has something to add. Peter, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah, can I point out? It's very easy. Tornado Pelt. It's extremely easy. God is outside of space and time. So, first of all, he doesn't have a day. Second of all, if he had, it wouldn't take up any time at all because there is no time where he is.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Quite true.
If I may, just
nope.
briefly.
Nope, not buzzed. Not a word. There you go, squirrel. Squirrel, please proceed, my friend.
Chat, can we lay off the baby jokes just for this?
Oh my! All right.
I would appreciate it, especially since it actually goes on. The chat is actually part of the stream. Also, Si, we got about 5 minutes on that 2 hour marker.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
We will. Here's what we're doing. Everybody, did I mention at the beginning of the stream? I think I did.
You did.
Yeah.
We're gonna close this one and pick it right back up, just so that YouTube, we don't stress out their poor processing ability.
Poor little YouTube.
Indeed, I feel bad for them. All right. So good night, everybody. We'll see you again in about a minute.
Yay!
Here we go. Goodbye, everybody.
Shutting down.
Shutting down.